Vlad the Impaler, the man who inspired Dracula, was far more terrifying than any vampire legend. His enemies spoke of forests of impaled bodies, ruthless revenge, and a mind forged in betrayal. But how much of this is history, and how much is myth? Let's dive into the bloody reign of Vlad III. Chapter 1: Origins of a Nightmare. Born around 1431, Vlad III grew up amid Wallachia's deadly political rivalries. The son of Vlad II Dracula, a member of the Order of the Dragon, faced danger from birth. His father's refusal to fully support the Ottomans led to a shocking consequence. Vlad and his brother Radu were taken as hostages to Gallipoli, ensuring Vlad II's loyalty. Life in Ottoman captivity exposed Vlad to violence, betrayal, and survival under constant threat. Even as a child, he learned that power demanded cruelty. His name, Dracula, meaning son of the dragon, would become synonymous not just with fear, but with calculated brutality. These formative years, shaped by intrigue and imprisonment, forged the man who would later rule through terror, the real-life figure behind centuries of myths. Chapter 2: Blood and Betrayal. Vlad's early attempts to rule Wallachia were brief and treacherous. In 1448, after his father and older brother died, he claimed the throne, only to be ousted after 2 months by forces loyal to his cousin, Vladislav II. Vulnerable and lacking allies, he retreated to regroup. His time as an Ottoman hostage taught patience, cunning, and the dangers of betrayal. Over the following years, he carefully studied politics, alliances, and enemies he would one day confront. This first failed reign left a bitter taste. Vlad knew that courage alone wouldn't secure power. To survive, he would need fear as a weapon. By the 1450s, he was ready to reclaim his destiny, and Wallachia would soon witness the emergence of the Impaler, a ruler who combined strategy with savagery in ways few could fathom. Chapter 3: Rise to Power. Returning to Wallachia in the early 1450s with support from Hungary, Vlad quickly established a reputation for ruthlessness. Impalement became his signature method of punishing enemies, creating a landscape of terror that kept rivals and rebellious towns in line. Cities like Brasov were targeted when citizens resisted, and chroniclers reported populations executed or displayed on stakes as warnings. Vlad's campaigns were not mindless cruelty. They were deliberate tools to enforce loyalty and strengthen his rule. Word of his brutality spread beyond Wallachia, reaching allies and enemies alike. Propaganda, especially among German merchants and Transylvanian Saxons, enhanced his fearsome image. In a world where betrayal meant death, Vlad transformed his reputation into a weapon. By the mid-1450s, the Impaler had emerged, a ruler who fused calculated strategy with shocking violence, ensuring that the name Dracula would strike fear long before he faced the Ottomans. Chapter 4: Terror of the Ottomans. Vlad's campaigns against the Ottomans are legendary. Refusing to pay tribute to Sultan Mehmed II, he launched daring raids across the Danube, attacking Ottoman outposts and villages. Contemporary chronicles describe forests of the impaled, rows of stakes displaying captured soldiers and enemies, leaving an unforgettable mark on invaders. While some numbers may be exaggerated, Vlad's tactics clearly instilled fear, slowed Ottoman advances, and showcased his cunning. Using guerrilla warfare, ambushes, and terror tactics, he compensated for smaller forces, demonstrating that cruelty could serve as a strategy. Every act of horror had a purpose: survival, deterrence, and authority. Vlad's enemies learned that his ruthlessness was not random, it was calculated. The man who inspired Dracula was not a mindless monster, he was a master of psychological warfare, turning horror itself into an instrument of power. Chapter 5: The Dark Side of Legend. Vlad's life is a tangled web of history and legend. While Bram Stoker's Dracula borrowed the name, the fictional vampire owes little else to Vlad's real life. Myths exaggerate victim counts, stealth attacks on Mehmed II, and tales of rats devouring prisoners. Even his tomb remains uncertain. Snagov Monastery is traditional, but no verified remains exist. Historians caution against taking medieval chroniclers at face value. Propaganda from Vlad's enemies amplified his terror, yet separating fact from fiction doesn't diminish his brutality. Forests of impaled victims, calculated raids, and relentless vengeance were real. Vlad's story shows how historical figures become larger than life through a mix of truth and exaggeration. Understanding the man behind the myth gives a darker, more chilling perspective. Sometimes reality is far bloodier than legend. Chapter 6: The End of the Impaler. Vlad III's final years were marked by constant struggle. Imprisoned by Matthias Corvinus of Hungary for over a decade, he later returned to Wallachia to continue campaigns against the Ottomans and rivals. His last reign was short. Vlad likely died in 1476, possibly in battle or by assassination. The location of his grave remains unknown. Even with his violent methods, he is remembered differently across cultures. In Romania, as a defender of the land. Elsewhere, as a monstrous tyrant. His life inspired legends that transcended centuries, giving birth to the vampire lore dominating popular imagination today. Vlad's reign demonstrates a chilling truth. His real-life cruelty, cunning, and use of terror were terrifying enough without supernatural embellishment. His story stands as one of history's darkest tales, a testament to how power, fear, and vengeance intertwine. Vlad the Impaler's life was far bloodier than any vampire legend. From betrayal to impalement, his reign left a mark that echoes through history. Want more dark history stories like this? Hit like, subscribe, and explore the channel for chilling tales from the past.